I hate to break it to you, but you are playing the leading role in your own life. You're either loving it or hating it, or maybe you're somewhere in between on that scale. But whatever is going on may seem like it's happened by default, but it has to have something to do with you. Now, I'm not saying that everything is your fault if things aren't going so well. We're all born into very different circumstances, and some of us just seem a little luckier than others. During childhood and adulthood, we are literally programmed into being, and we inherit a lot of belief systems, habits, and ideas about the world around us. And the older you get, the more aware of that you become. But then it also tends to get a little harder with each year that passes by to change the direction of where your life is headed. And if you're anything like me, you might wake up one day thinking, I did not sign up for this. What then? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can go from being the lead actor to the director in your life, whereby you rewrite the script of your life. And that's where the power lies. Lights, camera, action! Oprah Winfrey is known for being very intentional about everything she does. She sets intentions for every meeting she attends. And I'm pretty sure that she also sets intentions throughout the day for everything she does. And she gets amazing results. Now you may wonder what it means to set an intention. Well, if I asked you what your intention for the day was, you might tell me that you're just going to work, or you need to pay some bills, or pick up the kids, or fix the leak, or do something like that. Or. There's always so much stuff going on. However, most of us completely miss the mark when it comes to living an intentional life. You think, how is that gonna change anything? But it really, really does. So what if you got really clear on what you wanted to prioritize throughout the day? How would you feel? What would you want to do and experience during the day? Who would you want to be with, hang out with, work with? And most importantly, why would that matter to you? If you answered all of those questions with intention and with your best case scenario in mind, then shouldn't there be a possibility that you would actually experience that at some point in time if you dreamt about it, thought about it, and kind of lived it in your mind obsessively all the time? Okay, so then you might tell me, I've already done that, but nothing happened. And to that, I would say, awesome. And I would ask you, for how long? Because here's the thing. Most of us have massive dreams and desires and things that we really, really want to experience. But we spend way more time thinking about all the worst case scenarios that could possibly happen throughout the next, let's say, 50 years, instead of obsessing about all the things that could happen if we could choose what really happened, i.e., the best case scenario. Can you relate? Essentially, your thoughts drive your behavior. You think about going to the bathroom when you wake up, and off you go. Then you think about brushing your teeth, and you do that. You think about having breakfast, you do that. You think about going to work and getting there on time, and all of a sudden, poof, there you are. Everything starts with a thought and is followed by an action. You do throughout the day. And the busier and more overwhelmed you are, the more you suppress all of those emotions that you feel and that have the potential to get the best of you. Now that strategy might work for a while, but eventually those emotions will catch up with you and they will demand your attention. Maybe you start having headaches or digestive issues or sleeping issues, or you feel anxious all the time. Something is not right. It doesn't feel right. Whatever that symptom is drawing all your attention to it. It's swallowing up the large part of your day and your energy, and you feel like you're in survival mode, just trying to fix things and get back to normal, but you can't really do that. And you can definitely not live a peaceful, joyous life because you're just in fixing survival mode all the time. The body is a very intelligent organism and it wants you to listen. So what does all of that have to do with rewriting the script of your life and changing it? It has everything to do with that. Because when you start paying attention to the signals and to the symptoms, you'll notice that the warning bells are ringing loudly. And when all of that noise, those ringing bells are ringing really, really loudly, you will start paying attention eventually. I had to hit complete rock bottom before I really understood and heard those bells and those signs. And I really don't want you to go through the same experience that I had. But my experience did teach me two really valuable lessons. Imagine that there was a way to record everything you said, thought, felt, and did during a week or a month, any period of time. That system would record every single thought of those 60,000 thoughts that you think every single day. You'd record every single emotion that you felt as a result of what you were thinking about. And then you would record everything you did throughout that day. Then I promise you with 100% certainty that you would see a direct correlation between everything you thought, did, and felt, and your life as it is exactly today. While there may be a lot of seemingly inexplicable things happening in the world, there is nothing random about your thoughts, emotions, and actions and the life that you are currently living. I know that that's a lot to take in, and it may sound a little harsh. Notice that I'm not saying that it's your fault. I want to make that really, really clear. But what I am telling you is that your thoughts and your emotions and your actions affect your reality heavily, more than you would ever imagine. Let me explain using my own experience. If you've followed me for a while, you know that I was born with a number of autoimmune diseases: severe eczema, allergies, and asthma. I was also bullied from the age of 5 to 16. I was often told that I was different, at times ugly. The doctors told me that I was going to be sick forever because there wasn't any cure for my diseases. And when I started treating myself with food and alternative medicine, I was often scolded by the doctors, and they told me that I was crazy, that I was harming myself, and that it wasn't going to work. Then I went through a business breakup, and in that process, I lost all of my confidence in myself, and I was really ashamed and felt extremely guilty for the situation that I ended up in, and I didn't want to live anymore. At that point, I was covered with really extreme eczema and lesions all over my body from top to toe, and it made me want to kill myself, literally. Now, can you imagine what my thoughts and my emotions were like during that time? I did not spend a single second thinking about anything that made me feel good. I was in complete survival mode. I thought, this is never gonna end. I don't know how to get out. I have already tried everything. It's only getting worse. I'm gonna lose my house. I have nothing to offer anymore. The world doesn't need me. I'm so ashamed. What will my friends and family think? This is useless. I am useless. I don't want to live anymore. The world would be better off without me. I really, really don't want to do this anymore. Do you think there's any chance for anyone to create positive change with that script in their minds? It's impossible, because those thoughts, words, and actions and emotions were an action plan for disaster, and I would most likely have ended up killing myself if that had gone on for very much longer. So from now on, start paying attention to what you're thinking about, how you're feeling, and what action you are taking as a result of all of that. The second thing I learned was that I could teach myself to feel surprisingly good without having anything to feel good about. Now, I know that sounds a bit weird, but that is at the core of what this video is all about. Let me explain. But before I do that, I would kindly ask you to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you would like to get one of these cool t-shirts that I've just launched with my own handwriting printed on it, I will leave all the details and the links down below as well. Okay, let's get to the juicy bit of rewriting that script of yours. By now, I hope you understand what that script that you have in your mind might look like. You could even stop this video right here, take out a piece of paper and a pen, and write down your most persistent thoughts, emotions, and actions that you do all day long and that don't feel good. You can also write about the things that feel good, but we're not that worried about those, and you can watch another one of my videos about feeling good to understand what I mean. What you're really interested in is all the I can't, I don't know how to, I've always been like this, I'm gonna be poor, unhappy, alone forever, nothing is changing, I don't know what to do. And then the emotions, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm lonely, I fear for my life, I have no idea how to get out of this, I'm so anxious that I can't sleep, or I'm running around like a headless chicken all day long and I just can't seem to find time for what I really want to be focusing on. Or all of my time goes into fixing things and doing things that don't really feel right or that I wouldn't like to do if I could choose. Write all of those things down so that you can see them clearly on a piece of paper. Then I want you to flip it. You're going to go from being the actor in your life who is simply following a script line by line without questioning any of it. How? Take out another piece of paper. Actually, I think you might need a few. And write down one area of your life at the top of every page. For me, this was health, finances and money, fun, relationships, travel, and business. Okay, now comes the fun part. You're gonna go from being the lead actor to the director and the screenplay writer. Notice that this is a very rare opportunity, so grab it by the balls, eh? I highly recommend working on one area per day. I want you to be really serious about this. This stuff matters, it really matters, and it can change your life in a very short period of time if you pay attention and focus on it. Get serious about the change you want to create in your life and just do it. Let's use health as the example that we do together. First, you're gonna list out the subtitles of that particular category. For me, it was skin, allergies, asthma, nails, being fit and being in a great physical condition, and my back. Then, you're going to connect with your highest desire. What do you want? When I did this exercise, I was covered in eczema, as I mentioned before. And because of that, I came up with a script whereby I would heal on my own at home, and then I would get to tell the story of how I did that up on a stage in front of thousands of people. And I actually ended up doing that 2 years later in January 2022 on Dr. Joe Dispenza's stage in the States. I also had numerous allergies, food allergies, and so I wrote about how delicious it was to eat anything I wanted. Lots of butter, lots of cheese, anything I desired. It was just such a satisfying experience to eat and enjoy my food. I was dangerously allergic to dogs, and so I wrote long passages about what it felt like to go for long walks with my dog, unimaginable at the time, and how I would wake up every morning with my dog licking my face and me being all wet and uncomfortable because she was so excited to see me each morning. I had brittle, really flaky, thin nails, and so I wrote about me inheriting my grandmother's beautiful, long, perfect nails that she used to have painted red. And in my script, I would hear the sound of me tapping them against glass or any kind of hard surface and just enjoying the sound of my long, beautiful nails. I hadn't worked out for many, many years because sweating was so uncomfortable for me, and so I dreamed up a scenario in which I was working out with a personal trainer at the gym. I was lifting heavy weights. Sweat was dripping down my face and body, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and my muscles were glistening, and I looked awesome, and I felt awesome, really powerful and strong, and I thoroughly enjoyed the experience of working out and sweating. I also had back pain, and so I imagined all the things that I could do when that pain was gone. I saw myself walking around and sitting with the posture of a queen. And I was able to stay in downward dog, a yoga pose, in a perfectly inverted V for as long as I liked. I also saw myself sitting really comfortably on long flights, and I even saw myself running, which was a crazy idea at the time. And this is where the intention is so important, because directors and screenplay writers don't care about what the world looks like or what has been done before. They only care about their vision, and they execute that vision with intention. Every little detail matters. The actors, the lights, the cameras, the setting, the costumes, everything. They are all there for a reason, with purpose, and your job is no different than figuring that out. You get to orchestrate a scenario that excites you and that makes you want to get up in the morning. And then you get to execute it in a way that works for you. You put it all into a script. One page is one area in your life. Take your time, play around with it, have fun with it. This is your life that you're creating. Write it on a computer so that you break it down and get the essence of it into a format that really excites you and that makes you feel so good about this life that you are creating. And then start practicing it. Trust me, you will need this script because there will be many, many, many days when you'll doubt yourself, which I think you know something about if you haven't created the life that you want up until this point. It's time to start believing in the future that you so desperately want. So work on one area in your life until you have a script that covers what you want. There's no need to do all areas in your life. It might just be that you want to focus on health or on wealth or love, whatever it is that you really desire. And once you have that script, you're gonna switch back from being the director and the screenplay writer to being the actor of your life once more, but this time with intention. Then you'll learn that script line by line. You'll know it by heart. You'll know what every little detail looks like. You'll know what you're wearing and you'll know who you're with. Detail by detail, line by line. I practiced my script in the bathtub for 2 years straight. I lay there in the dark, surrounded by beautiful warm water smelling like lavender, and I felt as if I watched the same movie day after day after day. I laughed, I cried, I refined the jokes and the lines that I had written for myself. I had fun with the exercise. I improved the setting and I kept tweaking every little detail to make it as delicious as I could for myself. Because I was creating the life that I'm kind of living now. And one day, 2 years later, I walked up onto that stage and I told the story of how I had healed before coming to that event. And after that, I knew that I could do anything, and I mean anything, in this world and in this lifetime. Spoiler alert, it did not feel the way I had anticipated. It felt way, way better, but also very different. It was very clear to me that I had created that moment up on that stage. With every thought, every emotion, every action I had taken up until that point. I had rewritten the script of my life, and then I started living it with passion and great conviction and massive intention. And now it's your turn. Believe in yourself. Start doing the work and make it happen for yourself. It will require a bit of your time, but it's your life we're talking about. It's not just a script, it's literally a matter of life and death in some cases. So write your script as if your life depended on it, because it really does. And please hit the subscribe button down below if you want to keep seeing my videos in the future as well. And I would love to answer any of your questions if you have any, so write them in the comment section below as well. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.